Om Swastiastu. The Honorable Mr. Wijaya, lecturers of English Advanced Speaking course, and all of my beloved friends from English Education Department for Denpasar who attend this morning speaking class. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Prayoga. I would like to talk about an interesting topic. But before we start, I'd like to ask all of you to be gratitude for all that we have in this moment. Healthness, smile, and all the goods that have given by the Almighty God, and we should be grateful for. And wish us we will taken away from the sorrow, sadness, and all negative things that might be happen in our life. As a young generation who study in college, we must be more open-minded in solving the problem that we are facing with. But how do we can solve the problem? Should we be paying some money for the problem to be done? Of course, it's never work. First thing that we should do is thinking about the problem, then asking for some advices from your closest person or people around you. But how do we can get some advices? Of course, we must do a communication. First, let me talk about what is the communication. All of us have been familiar with the words communication. Otherwise, I do still want to tell you about what is the definition of communication. Perhaps there are several people still has a wrong understanding about communication and still classify communication only based on how we talk and how we speak. In note, communication has several things that related with it, such as for the education, business, or even for our health. First, let me talk about what is the communication. Communication is a process of transferring information and understanding from one person to other people or more. In most clear form, communication means interaction from two parties. In other definition, based on Magison, said that communication is a process of transferring meaning, idea, understanding of a person or a group to a person or group. But according to Nelson and Kate, said the communication is a transfer of information from one person to another. It is a way to researching other by transmitting idea, feelings, thoughts, facts, and value. While the definition by Theo Hamin said the communication is a process of passing information and understanding from one person to another. After review all the definition of the communication, we can say that communication is a process of delivering information, feeling, emotion, and many things to each other. And there must be two people who are communicating or talking to each other can say as communication. And communication also classified as a four type, which is communication verbal, non-verbal, written, and the last one is visual communication. But in the other hand, communication are also used as a tools in educational process. So for example, about how we transferring knowledge, and even more than that. In the other hand, Helen de Laswell ever said about the three parts that make people are communicating, which are consist of: first, human are desired to control the environment. Second, it is an effort to human are using to adapt to the environment. And the third one is it is also an effort to do a transformation to their social heritage. So after I have explained to you about all the definition of communication, I hope all of you can get the point and there is no more misunderstanding about this stuff or the communication. Secondly, I'd like to I also would like to share you about my personal experience about why do we need to do a communication or talk to each other. So when I was in high school, I had a girlfriend for the first time. I was in the 12th grade. That can be said I shouldn't be serious in making a relationship or in loving. The story began when we were chatting on the social media, and I thought she was a nice person. In the beginning of our relation, I spent a lot of time for only chatting to her and get to know one another. But until then, we are both has our own business until we are not making a good communication as before. By the time passing by, we are getting away until one of us, uh, thinking about end up the relationship because he said I was too busy. I did try to clarify to her, but I got this only disappointment. I know a good relation come from a good communication, and so do I try to make it clear. Even I know it's been too late. So why do we can why do I can say that communication are important in a relationship? Because in many cases, communication have become a proof for many relationships are failed of not maintain the communication based on Akonur, Directorate General of the judicial body of the Supreme Court of the Republic of Indonesia 2018 said the biggest cause of divorce was due to the continuous fight, either from verbal or physical. It was recorded that were more than 183.85 cases of divorces due to disputes. From here, we might see that what will be happen if we are not maintaining a good communication, or if we are not able to manage the communication with our couple. So despite the explanation and story I told you before, communication also have some part which is really important, such as the advantages and disadvantages of the communication. It should be nice for us to know more about the beneficial of the communication. But here, only would like to tell you about the advantages, which is about the mental health. I assume that a lot of you have know what the mental health is. But let me get this straight. Mental health is one of serious problem that we must be considered about. Based on Wikipedia, said that mental health is a state of well-being in which individuals realize their potential or able to compete with the pressure of normal life, work productively, and are able to contribute to their environment. But in the other definition also explained that mental health is the condition of a person who are able to deal with life's problem well, find happiness in living life, feel satisfied in social life and society, and has a good outlook in life and develop themselves. It based on the definition by Piper and Uden. According to L.K. Frank, mental health is a condition of a person who are able to develop their self, grow and mature in their life, and is able to adapt and participate in human life in environment. In short, we can conclude that mental health is a condition of individual interacting the fields of well-being in social, economic, or even physically. Some of mental health disorder which not handled properly will end up in suicide and mostly downward. This is why we should matter in thinking. At least mental health disorder is not only happen in adult people, but also mostly done by the teenagers one. So this problem mostly treated by the stress, depression, or even the anxiety disorder. So according to World Health Organization (WHO), say 1 in 100 deaths in world can be directly attributed to suicide. In 2019, more than 700,000 people died as a result of suicide. This is why we need to talk and share our problem to our friends or even physically in order to get some advices or decrease our stress, depression, or even our anxiety disorder. So what I want to say as a conclusion is the communication is one of the most important part in our life that we should be considered about. However, the problem that we are facing with, we must do a communication. Also, the communication is one of several things that we should be managed in relationship, and all of them will be affected to our mental health if we are not able, or if you are wrong in managing our communication. So let us be more aware to our body and care about become a good communicator, because once we become that, we might deliver everything nicely. And also we need to remember that communication is one of most important part in our healthness life, or especially for our mental health. So I do apologize if that was the only time that we have. Thanks a lot for your nice attention, and hope we are met again in next opportunity or event. Thank you very much. Om Santi 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 Om.